Armor is a crucial part of the Cycle Frontier, and if you don't have the best armor in your gunfight, you're probably going to lose. That's why today I'm going to teach you guys how to get green armor consistently so you have it at every drop. Never use white armor again. So we're going to talk about how to get green shield, green helmet, and green backpack every single drop. So let's go over what you need for each item. For the medium backpack, you need 2700 K marks, 2 polymetallic prefabricate, and 2 altered nickel. Now for the helmet, you're gonna need 1700 K marks, 2 hardened metal, and 5 spinal base. And finally, for the shield, you're gonna need 2000 K marks, 2 polymetallic prefabricate, and 5 spinal bases. So let's break this down. For the whole armor set, if you want to take a green backpack, a green shield, and a green helmet into each and every raid, you're going to need 4 polymetallic prefabricate, 10 spinal base, 2 hardened metal, and 2 altered nickel. If you look at it like that, it's really not too bad. I'm going to show you guys my go-to run to get all the supplies I need and start farming this green armor quickly. So as you see, we spawned right here on the bottom left side of the map. Our 2 evac points are literally right next to us. These evac spots are not ideal, but we make it work in this gameplay. For the ideal spots, you would want to spawn in this bottom right area right here in this region, and you'd want an evac either waterfall or dig site. But we're going to manage to make this work because we're going to backtrack to our evacs. So first things first, we want to make our way from right here on the bottom left, and the first location we're going to hit is Lagoon. Lagoon is a very underrated spot that you need to start hitting. We're going to go over where to go into Lagoon exactly, but let me take you through the route first. So after we hit Lagoon, we're going to make our way to Vaccine Labs, which is right next to it. And this is where the route changes a little bit. If you have an evac in this top right hand corner, you can go up, hit Eastern Caverns for altered nickel. Then you can make your way up again to Waterfall and loot it for polymetallic prefabricate, and then you can evac. Since our evac spots are behind us, we're going to do a little bit of a different route. We're still going to hit Lagoon and then make our way to Vaccine. And then I'm going to show you guys there's a little spot where you can get some altered nickel right in this region, right between Vaccine and Lagoon. And then we're going to make our way back out from Vaccine, and then we're going to backtrack our way. So once we hit Vaccines, we hit the spot we're going to mine, then we go Lagoon again, because you could have a chance of respawning all of the things that you just looted. So that's what we do. We loot Vaccine, go mine, hit Lagoon again, see if it respawned, and then walk to our evac spots. Now let me show you exactly how that looks. So here, as you see, we are making our way. And one good thing about having a pretty long walk is you're going to run into some striders. Striders are obviously important because you need a ton of spinal base. So just kill every strider along the way. You're going to find plenty of them. And again, if you don't find too much one raid, you're going to find a lot the other, because these guys are everywhere. So now that we made our way to Lagoon, this spot has been previously looted a little bit, but this is how we usually do it. On these shelves right here, if it is a fresh spawn, there is a ton of hardened metals. As you see, someone left 1, but I'm not kidding, you can get 6 to 8 hardened metals from one run in Lagoon if it's fresh. So as you see, there is 1 hardened metal that someone left, so we'd pick that up, obviously. And these shelves are stacked. You can also find old currency in these jackets, which is good for just money runs. There's also a possibility of finding hardened metals on this shelf, and in this closet right here, there's also a possibility of finding hardened metals and a ton of other stuff. As you see, someone left hardened metals in there. So again, this spot is crucial, and this is just the first building. There are 2 buildings in Lagoon, and they're both stacked. So now into the second building. This building is very, very strange because you can find a lot of textiles and a lot of resin guns in here too, if you do need those as well. And those mainly spawn on this little balcony right here. And if we go into the room, there's a chance of finding a ton of textiles on the beds, on this bed as well, on this little side table, and basically all over this room. You have a high chance of getting textiles and resin guns. You don't need them from green armor, but you always want to have as much of those as possible. These closets are always a good thing to loot because they always have stuff in there. As you see, I got a resin gun, I got an AR-55, which is good if you're in need of some weapons. You can also go up top and loot it, but we'll hit that on our way back because we're gonna have to go back because our evac is on the other side of the map. So once we finish at Lagoon, we're gonna make our way to Vaccine Labs here. Now, Vaccine is where you're gonna find all of your polymetallic prefabricate. The only downside is it's probably already been looted. Quick side note here, I found a flechette on this bunk bed right here, which is crazy. I didn't find it in this video, but I found a flechette before on that bunk bed, so just make sure to check every corner. You can find polymetallic prefabricate in these cabinets, which are really important. If you see the drawers are sticking out, that means someone's already looted it. If you have an evac on the top right, that's why it's so important to go vaccine, then to Waterfall Lab, so you can loot even more polymetallic prefabricate at Waterfall Lab. Since our evac is right here in the bottom, we're gonna mine some altered nickel right in this area, which I'll show you, and then we're gonna hit Lagoon again, then make our way back to the evac. I will fast forward this part just so you guys can see how you actually get there. As you see, this little circle right here, if you go right underneath it, is where I am. It's a really good mining spot. You have a good chance to find nickel and valectisite, nickel especially. You won't get altered nickel in every single vein, but you always have the chance to. Once we mine this spot out, we're gonna make our way down. So there's another waterfall there. We're just gonna go all the way down into the crevice, all the way down. For some reference, this is where we're gonna be. In this top part of Lagoon on this wall, there's a good chance that nickel will spawn there, so make your way there. If you don't see any, keep moving. There's usually a little bit of nickel, but if you don't see any, just keep on chucking. I got myself a vein here. Hopefully, do we get some altered nickel or do we not? We got 1 altered nickel and 2 altered nickel, which is not too bad. There's a couple other veins here. I just see one more right here. Again, we only got 2 altered nickel, but if your evac is again on the top right area, you can hit East Caverns and mine all of that nickel because there's a good amount of nickel in those caves. So again, it all depends on your evac spot and where you want to go, how far you want to go. I obviously could have hit Eastern Caverns, gotten Waterfall, but then I'm on the absolute opposite side of the map, and there's a high probability that I die getting to my evac spot. So now, since we looted that, we're gonna loop back into Lagoon. Look at this beauty. We go back in. There's hardened metals on the shelves, as I said. Here's one. You have a ton of these compound sheets. I have too many, so I don't pick them up. I literally have way too many. I don't even want to talk about how much I have, but there's 3 hardened metals just like that. These jackets are filled with money. You want to collect that because it's always good to have money because we go broke out here. Hardened metal on that shelf as well. Check all the closets. Check in the outside areas as well because they can be on the chairs or on the table, just like this on the table. Now for this next building, there is a good amount of loot. There's more hardened metals in the other building. There's still some in here, but you find a lot more hardened metals in the other building. As you see, I am in a storm, which kind of sucks, but we're gonna loot this top area. There's another jacket for some more old currency if you are broke. Look at that, 1,000 currency right there. Now we're gonna make our way downstairs, and I just want to show you how many resin guns I find in Lagoon. Let's just count them. I know we don't need them for green armor, but this is just a tip if you made it this far in the video. Here's 1, here's 2. We're gonna keep going. Look at that, 3, 4, 5. 5 resin guns in one room. It is absurd. It is crazy. If you ever need resin guns or textiles, go to Lagoon. As you see with this farm, we left with 3 altered nickels. We didn't even go to East Caverns. We have 9 hardened metals, and we have 4 spinal bases. Again, we didn't get any poly this run because vaccine was looted, and we didn't go Waterfall Lab, so polymetallic prefabricate is crucial. But if vaccine is looted, Waterfall Labs is your best second choice. Again, I'm sorry we didn't find any this run, but trust me, 6 to 8 if vaccine is completely unlooted, which is pretty rare because vaccine's a hot spot. So poly is going to be one of those things that if you find, you want to make sure you evac successfully with it. But once you evac successfully, you're going to make your way back to the gear printer and make everything that you need. So if this guide was helpful for you guys, drop a like, subscribe. Hopefully, I'll see you in some of my next videos. Deuce.